So, welcome back to our channel. We normally share our adventures and our travels, but today we want to take up a topic that's a little bit more serious, which is we've been cruising for over a year outside the US, and we want to share what it costs.
And spoiler alert, it cost a lot more than we thought it would. In 2025, we cruised the Caribbean full time on our 43-foot monohull sailboat. In over 12 months, we visited 15 countries, lived entirely on the boat, and crossed thousands of miles of open water.
We're going to break down all of our expenses as a cruising couple living full time aboard our sailboat.
We started 2025 in the Bahamas, then sailed through the Eastern Caribbean, visiting 10 small island nations. By June, we reached Grenada to sit out the hurricane season, and then we headed west to the ABC Islands, then on to Colombia, and finally finishing the year in Panama.
If you want a full recap of that journey, we linked our 2025 sailing recap video in the description below.
Cruising as a couple on a 43-foot sailboat has truly been a dream come true. For me, it meant early retirement. For both of us, it's been a lot of work, but incredibly rewarding.
Our boat is a 2006 Elan Impression, which we bought in Maryland in September 2023. We made all major upgrades before leaving the US, so by the time we jumped to the Bahamas on December 30th, 2024, the boat was fully outfitted.
So we have a diesel engine, just one, a propane stove. We have solar, plus a diesel generator for charging the batteries. And we also have a dinghy with a 5 horsepower 2-stroke engine. We have Starlink, we have a satellite phone, and we both have cell phones.
We consider ourselves fairly frugal cruisers. We avoid marinas whenever possible, cook almost all of our own meals on board, and do nearly all of our own boat work, only outsourcing when absolutely necessary.
So when we added up everything we spent at the end of the year, we were honestly shocked. We didn't make any major boat purchases in 2025, and we didn't think we bought that much stuff, but the numbers told a different story.
Our biggest expense was our boat work and haul out in Panama. It included bottom paint, fixing our keel seams, sail canvas repairs, and some very important engine maintenance. This was also the only boat work we hired out all year.
So our largest expense category is what our credit card company aptly defines as shopping. And that was $26,000. And shopping includes everything that we bought for the boat that we put on the boat, whether it was a t-shirt, a hat, or a part for the engine, or a bottle of lubricant. So it was everything that wasn't food. So our largest purchases out of that 26,000 was a wind generator that we bought at the end of the year. We haven't installed yet. That was $1,800. We also bought a new dinghy, which was $1,200, and we had to buy paint for our bottom paint, $1,000. The surprising thing was that was it for any of the big expenses. So all the rest of that $26,000 were pretty small things. Probably under $100. So those little things really added up.
Our second biggest expense category, for obvious reasons, was groceries. Our credit card spending showed that we spent about $10,000, but we used a lot of cash for produce market and bakeries.
And ice cream.
And ice cream. Our best estimate puts groceries closer to $12,000, which is about what we spent living in the United States.
Our third largest expense category was marinas and moorings. And we spent more than we really wanted to. And since August, we've mostly been in marinas. So this is the number one expense we do want to reduce in 2026, but we're really not off to a great start since we're sitting in a marina right now getting ready to haul out.
Our total cash purchases was 7,800, which made our expenses very hard to track. We think it's mostly spent on food since we bought a lot of produce from small markets, but we also used cash for taxis, buses, and many countries asked specifically for cash for their fees.
In 2025, we paid $7,200 for our health insurance, but this is mostly skewed by still having US health insurance for most of the year, in which we made monthly payments. But then we switched our insurance plans, and I paid up front the full amount of $3,000 for 1 year of insurance. Our communications expenses include Starlink, cell phones, and our satellite phone. So we pay $700 a year for our satellite phone minutes, which includes 500 minutes. The satellite phone is really a piece of safety equipment, so I don't want to give that up, even though we have Starlink. But we figure it would be very inconvenient to take Starlink on a life raft with us, so we're keeping that satellite phone. Also, I can leave that satellite phone on all the time while we're cruising and use it to transmit GPS information to our security contacts back in the US.
Okay. To save a bit of money, we switched our Starlink account to be localized in Panama a few months ago. This reduced the monthly rate a bit. We also switched our cellular service to Popcorn, which is a global cellular phone service provider, and I highly recommend it. It's working great. We have coverage in every country with unlimited data for much less than our T-Mobile service from the US. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, and we have a referral code that we'll put in the description of this video. Our next biggest expense was our boat insurance, $4,600. I prepay that for a full year, and actually, since I just renewed at the end of 2025, it's the insurance coverage for our South Pacific crossing. So the Caribbean insurance was a little bit less than that. I think it was just under $4,000. Insurance, I know, is a hot topic among cruisers because it's getting more difficult to find an insurance company that will insure boats for long ocean passages. The company we use is called Global Yacht Coverage, and we haven't had any complaints, but we also haven't had any claims.
Our external dining costs came to $3,700. This is one of our expenses that we were pretty pleased with, partly because eating out in the Caribbean is just not that good. The food is usually lousy, and the service and comfort while dining out is lacking, meaning no air conditioning and a lot of bugs. So we typically only eat out if we just don't have any other options.
Your cooking is far better than most every restaurant we've been to.
Okay,
our healthcare expenses came to $2,500. This included doctor's fees and money spent on prescriptions. So the biggest single expense there was, I think, a little over $1,000 for my dislocated finger in the Dominican Republic. And if anyone says healthcare is cheap in the Dominican Republic, they must have gone to the government clinic.
We also spent $2,400 on travel, including flights back to the US and some travel and hotels within Colombia.
But it was worth it. I think we each visited our families once this past year.
That's right. We're taking advantage of when we're in this hemisphere, being able to go back to the US.
Yeah, flights were definitely pretty reasonable from Colombia and Panama to get back to the US.
For entertainment expenses, this is almost entirely subscription services, Netflix, audiobooks, etc.
Yeah, I think that includes our VPN as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not all services allow for availability outside of the US. So we have to VPN into the US to get access to those subscription services.
Okay, so our last expense category was marine related subscriptions. So that includes things like Predict Wind, Windy, our Navionics charts, and also the Chris Parker weather service we use throughout the Caribbean.
So the grand total came to $85,600.
Wow. I estimated that we would be spending about $60,000 per year on average. So that's quite a bit more than I thought. And the thing that really blew me away was how much we spent on stuff. The shopping expense of $26,000. That is all stuff that went on this boat. And being a 43-foot monohull, I don't even know where all that stuff went. It's it doesn't seem that crowded on our boat.
Wow.
Albeit some were consumables like oil or laundry detergent.
And there is definitely a correlation between being in a marina and spending money.
Yeah, and analyzing the credit card statements, we definitely spent more money when we were sitting in a marina. I think we just went shopping more and ate out more.
And you have access to Amazon, which
Yes.
the packages will show up in a marina, where if you're on anchor, you don't have a desire to buy anything on Amazon because you can't get it.
Yeah, so out of that $26,000 that we spent on shopping, 8,000 of that was spent on Amazon alone.
I really think we can do a lot better in a number of different areas, but unfortunately, we aren't off to a great start in 2026, being that we're spending so much time here at Shelter Bay Marina.
And buying a bunch of stuff on Amazon.
Whenever I talk to another cruiser, it's another idea of something else we can buy, another thing to make our life a little bit easier.
Or another spare part.
Well, that's exactly it. It's like you hear about a boat that had a piece break. It's like, do we have a replacement for that?
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of money in the past year on buying spares and getting ready for our Pan Pacific travel here in the near future.
Yeah, and in 2026, we're also going to have the added expense of going through the Panama Canal, which is probably going to cost close to $4,000.
So at the end of the day, we're keeping close track on what we spend in 2026, and fingers crossed, it'll be a little bit less than what we spent in 2025.